Hello. Okay, so today I want to share how we use two maths curriculums, uh, not because there's lacking in either one of them, but just because it's about combining the strengths that both of them have to get like a one super massive maths curriculum. So the two programs that we are combining this year for my first grader was Math Mammoth, or is Math Mammoth, and MathUSee. Now, we started out this year with Math Mammoth because um, it's cheap. It is, especially here in South Africa, you can buy it as a PDF. It's really inexpensive. It's also easy to print it at home. And then for that reason, also a lot of people wrote really good reviews on it. Um, I wanted to try something also that was a bit more hands off for me. Um, I have last year I did math with confidence with my when she was still kindergarten, and that was fine. I liked that program. There's nothing wrong with it, but I needed something that was a lot more not teacher intensive. And so I decided I'm going to try Math Mammoth, especially also now because I've got a preschooler that also has to do a little bit of math as well. And she also needs to do some reading and things. So she's also starting to get more into the mix. So just to allow myself a bit more freedom, I wanted to try something else. And so we switched to Math Mammoth. Now, we've been doing about 5 months. We started our school years in January. So we did January up until about half of June, the month of June. And then I started realizing, no, something's missing here. And it started happening more or less when we started going into um, place values. Now, um, Math Mammoth is a really nice program in that it has got lots of variety. I'll show you here on a pic here on the laptop. It's got lots of variety. You'll see if I just quickly scroll here. No day is basically the same. There's word sums, different types of word sums. There's what's that? Fill out the blanks. Okay, these are how many more. Uh, these ones are quite nice. They focus a lot on these fact families. Basically, almost like the majority of first grade for Math Mammoth is about these fact families. So there's lots and lots of questions about these fact families, like variations of these fact families. It's quite nice. What I like about this, I don't like the repetition of the fact families the whole time, but what I really, really find Math Mammoth to be very strong at is like these puzzles and mental math, like these ones, for example. These are mental math ones, like Ranzo has more marbles. How many more? Now you should match the marbles from each box, and then obviously the difference between the two is how many more Ranzo has. So it explains to you it like that, and then here you got your own problems then that you have to fill in. So Ansi has got how many more than Musi, and Musi's got how many or how much less or fewer than ANSI. So I really like this about this program. All those mental math questions. I think especially we got a kid who is quick on maths. I think this will be a great program for them, especially with all these mental math questions that they got in there. Now, the wheels started coming off the bus when we started getting here. What was that now? I'll skip it now. When we started getting here to chapter 3 with the place value within the 1 to 100. Now, let me check here. What was the thing? Yeah, we don't have an abacus. What we do is I've got that 100 like because we did MathUSee last year, we got that the 10 blocks and the 1 blocks. So I've got those ones, and we used those ones rather than the abacus. Now maybe that would have made a difference, but for me, my particular child, it did not. So counting in groups of 10, how they approached it is as follows. You got like these I don't know, counting groups of 10. Then you have to count the 10 dots and you circle them. So you physically have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then you make a circle around them to make groups of 10. After you've done that, you're supposed to like play counting games. Then two tens, and then it introduces you to the beads. Now you can do this. Obviously, we've got those 10 blocks and the 10 rows and the 1 blocks. You can do this with it as well. So two tens and 1 gives you what? Now, I think like all kids, they've got like certain developmental, I don't know, I think like maths and with reading and all those things, like there's like these developmental areas that they go through. And I think place value is one of those things that my kid just needed a little bit more work with. And so we did the whole of chapter, or did the whole chapter 3. At the end of it, I think we basically just wasted like a month because she wasn't confident at all with it. If you had to ask her something, because at the end of the chapter 3 they will ask you like, if you got 51 plus 10, how much will that be? So you would have to understand the concept that if you've got 5 tens and a 1 and you add another 10, that means you got 6 tens and a 1, so you got 61. So there's a lot going on there. I think number 1, she wasn't quite yet fluent counting in her tens, skip counting in tens. I think also maybe she wasn't yet quite, she didn't quite get the concept of the place value. And also, even though I think sometimes she knows the number in her head, she struggles to say with her mouth. Like, for example, like 12. She would still say 20. And then I'll ask her, Vanka, why don't you write it down for me? And then when she writes it down, then she gets it. Now, what happened is we then switched over to MathUSee. Now, let me check here to show you a bit. Now, we only been doing this for the last month now already, and we've really been flying through it. We've basically skipped through all this, and we finished, we're now the month of August now, but we basically, for this last month, we did all the lessons from 1 up until 9. Now, to give you guys an idea, what's nice about MathUSee is you read the student manual, and after you read the student manual, there's like a DVD as well, instructor DVD, which you give your kid. And they focus, for MathUSee, their main focus is just on place value. For first grade, it's basically just place value. They'll do a little bit of time, they'll do a little bit of skip counting, but for the most part, it's place value. So at the beginning, it's just like this. And we've already got all this. We've got these blocks, these 100 base blocks, the 10 base blocks, and the 1 block. So you just basically, you count it, you write it, and then you say it. And here you do it the other way around. So there they've already said it for you. So you just now need to, or they've already written it for you. So now you need to bold it with your own base blocks, which you got, and then you say it with your mouth. So you have to say 451. Now, it's almost as if it's so simple. You wouldn't think something like this, would be so simple and so straightforward. But it's like the kid just gets it. And then all of a sudden, what happened is now, where she didn't quite get that place value thing, now all of a sudden everything is just like, it clicked. It just automatically clicked. I didn't go out and buy these special, because I know MathUSee's got like their own, wait, what's there? Here at the back. I think they got a picture of it. Like there's got these very strange manipulative blocks, which I find quite weird. 1s and 2s and 3s and 4s and 5s and so on. But no, we didn't buy any special blocks. I didn't want to spend any more money. I got the teacher's manual and the DVD secondhand of a Facebook group. I had to buy this new though. So currently I'm just making copies out of this for my girl, and so that I can have it if my second one also needs one, because I don't want to buy another one now yet. And then we flew through these ones. We basically flew through that. This is quite nice. And then it started going in this where you bold, you write it down. So you have to count that one, you write it down, plus what gives you an answer. Then you have to match this side with that side. And then they also have it like this, where it's underneath each other. And then they also scatter in these ones where you still have to build them, and you write the number and you say it. Now, what makes Math Mammoth so nice is, okay, this is not nice. This, like I said, this is now still some more fact families. I don't know, at this stage, maybe, but I don't know. I'm not even into the whole memorizing of the fact families at this stage. I just wanted to get certain concepts. I think before we go into more difficult things about memorizing fact families, I just wanted to be able to understand the concepts. And she can understand the concept of place value. If she can skip count, if she can in tens and fives and in twos, then I think we're based, and she knows, obviously knows us colors and shapes and sizes and so on. So for the most part, then that's fine. But what I really, really like about Math Mammoth are these things. They've really got the nicest word problems. So like, for example, Gert has got 10 cars, Muhammad has got 7 cars, and Musa has got 4 cars. So she wrote it down there. So how many more cars than Musa does Muhammad have? And now she's actually, I think, because we worked for about a whole month on these, we watched the DVDs, we filled in all the tables. I mean, the whole lesson 6 is about just counting up until 100. She's even been able to do this. You've got 100 plus 200 was they give you. Well, but nice about MathUSee is that unlike Math Mammoth, they won't combine this. They won't have like 21 plus 60. Oh, Richie? Huh? The dog's also awake, wants to see what I'm doing. They won't like combine the two. They won't combine like 21 plus 60. No, that's supposed to give you 81. They don't do that, which I quite like, which I find by not mixing them at this stage, keeping them separate, you're also not creating the possibility for a child to make mistakes yet, especially if your kid doesn't yet get the place value thing. So we've basically now, and what's very nice about them is because they focus a lot on place value, my kid can now do sums like this where it's got 9 plus 9 because she knows if place value means we're always working up until the next 10 or the next full number. So 9 wants to be the next full number 10. So it will take 1 from 9 to make that a 10, which means there's 1 less there. So she can now actually do sums like this in her head without without having to use any of those 10 base blocks at all to do it because she can. Which is meant now that we have come back to this for this last week. It's almost as if this is now easier for her. It's like because she understands what the value is, because she understands the place value of the number, it's almost as if she understands that there's jumps now. To go from Musa to Muhammad, there has to be a jump from the one to the other. There's a place value jump of 3 to get from 4 to 7. So she gets that. So, oh my word, knows alles failed. So, okay, so what we will be doing then for the next year onwards. Oh, and look here, check, this is nice. We'll probably do that next year. They also, like I said, Math Mammoth, which they don't do a lot of in here. MathUSee is just place value for the whole first year. It does place value for addition and subtraction, which means your kid will be able to do the whole. I wonder if they got it on here. I don't think in here. Your kid will probably be able to do the whole 1 plus 1 up until 9 plus 9, and then the whole 18 minus, 18 minus 9 to 2 minus 1. So you understand they'll be able to do that whole thing for at the end of these 30 lessons. Something like this, where you got 12 minus 5, which I don't even think they do at all in Math Mammoth for the first year at all. Like I say, year, to give you an idea, for chapter 7, they are still Richie, the dog. for chapter 7, because chapter 4 is only just math facts. 5 is time, 6 will be shapes and measurements, and 7 will then be where you have to refresh your memory, and we're going to do some subtraction without borrowing, so it will be below the tens, and then we'll do some adding or subtraction with 2-digit numbers. But you see there, that's only 4 pages. Now, how is a kid going to understand that in just 4 pages of work? completing the next 10, 4 pages, going over 10, 4 pages, subtracting from whole tens, 2 pages. So I probably won't even, and the trick with 9 and 8, I probably won't even have to do this whole chapter in Math Mammoth, because the whole of MathUSee is focused just on adding and subtracting. So I'll skip that one, but then I'll still look through it, because like I said, check out these things. Like, it's got lots of these where you've got smaller, less than, more than, equal to, where you have to work it upside down. I don't know what you call that, long sums. Yeah, if you have to color in boxes. Here's the other one. Yeah, here's some more. Okay, this is very boring. Then here, write an addition sentence for these ones. Fill in more missing numbers that you have to look for. They've got these really cool graphs that they also bring in. Year puzzles, extra additional puzzles that you do. And now all of a sudden, it's strange. It's strange, actually, how if a kid just like gets one thing, how that it almost like it accelerates them into a whole other possibility of doing like even more complicated stuff, because they suddenly now all of a sudden get it. So for the next year forward, I wanted to do just Math Mammoth, but I'll probably do MathUSee with it as well. We'll combine the two. I'm not going to be rigorous just to do every single lesson out of every chapter, but I'm going to mix and match here to see how we can fill in areas that she doesn't yet quite understand, so that at the end of the year I can confidently say my kid's got the place value thing down. She can confidently do all her skip counting and tens and fives and twos. She's able to interpret graphs. She understands the concepts of more than and less than and equals to. She's able to, I think, one of the things is also data handling, but I think data handling has got a lot to do also with that graph thing. So I think pretty much using two curriculums has enabled us to have a much more well-rounded maths curriculum or maths education for first grade. And if you are considering it, I definitely don't think that you just have to stay with one thing. Obviously, if you've got a budget issue, then obviously you have to. But we also have a budget issue. That's why I went with Math Mammoth in the first place. But for the most part, try to see what you can get maybe secondhand on those Facebook groups. I don't know, here in South Africa, you've got Facebook groups. I don't know in other countries, but see what you can get maybe secondhand. Also check to see maybe how combining more different, or how combining resources can also mean that strengths of each program, that you get access to all those strengths, rather than just being limiting yourself to one maths program and then saying, okay, now that's that, we're going to stick with us. Because I don't believe you just need to stick with something and the kid just needs to trudge through, when I think there might be, like, for example, like we did, just trying something else actually now meant that we had to spend a month on it, but she clicked it. And now all of a sudden we can do even more difficult things than we could with the other program, because she gets it. So yeah, this is now your chance also to maybe go out and try to see what is available to you in your area, and how you can maybe create your own custom maths curriculum.